Have you ever started a Canvas assignment at 2 a.m. and thought, why am I doing this? Most of us are chasing degrees, grades, deadlines, relationships, but how often do we stop to ask ourselves, why? Sometimes I feel like I'm doing everything right, but I still feel lost. The college life is chaos. Deadlines, decisions, expectations, and opinions coming from every direction. I've struggled with constantly trying to keep up academically, socially, and even emotionally. That changed when I came across Simon Sinek's Start with Why. Every student faces pressure, but understanding the deeper purpose gives us something to hold on to, especially when everything else feels uncertain. Today, I'll share the idea behind Start with Why, how it applies to the chaos of college life, and how we can start living more purposefully right now. In 2009, Simon Sinek gave a TED Talk called Start with Why that became the most watched ever. He asked, why do some people and organizations inspire more than others? He studied leaders like Steve Jobs and Martin Luther King Jr., people who were inspired not by what they did, but why they did it. Simon said, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. This isn't just applicable to the business world, but to our own lives. We need to lead with our why. He introduced the concept of the golden circle, a model showing that starting with why builds deeper loyalty and impact. You can see the different definitions of each inner circle. That shifted how people think about leadership, purpose, and direction. That's powerful. But what does it have to do with us, the overwhelmed, overcommitted college students? We live in a culture of comparison and constant noise. Grades, relationships, followers, hustle culture. It's easy to start chasing what looks good instead of what feels right. I am extremely guilty of this. But when you start with why, you stop asking, what should I do to impress others? And start asking, what aligns with my values? Or what makes me happy or fulfilled? You make decisions not out of guilt, stress, or people-pleasing, but from clarity and conviction. So what does this application look like? How do we reconnect with that kind of purpose when we're already feeling stretched thin? Finding your why doesn't mean you have to have your whole life figured out. It means taking the time to notice what lights you up, what you value, and what makes you feel most alive. I've recently had to apply what Simon Sinek taught me. The last 4 years have been nothing but a hustle to achieve my dream career to be a nurse. The competition to apply for a nursing program is stressful, and I felt so much pressure to be the best in my class. In my mind, I thought, I have to get in. All of my classmates seemed to have it all together. But yeah, I didn't get in. And I was burning myself out. And for what? To impress the people in my close circle? There is much more behind my passion to become a nurse and pushing myself to get there. So I had to ask myself why again. I had to recommit and trust that everything would work out as long as I let my why drive me. Here are ways you can find your why. Reflect on moments you felt most fulfilled. Think about a time when you felt genuinely proud, not because someone approved, but because it mattered to you. Sinek often says our why is connected to what we deeply care about, something we want to contribute to or change. Reevaluate what environments drain you and in what environments lift you. Talk to people that know you well. Sometimes others can see our strengths and values more clearly than we can. And lastly, revisit your why regularly. Your why doesn't change over time, but the way you express it does. Checking in with it when you feel lost or overwhelmed helps realign your decisions. You don't have to go on a soul-searching trip to find your why. You just have to be willing to pause, reflect, and be honest with yourself about what matters to you and not what matters to anybody else. Purpose gives you motivation that lasts longer than a GPA or a bullet point on a resume. In the chaos of life, especially college life, reconnecting with your why gives you direction, peace, and power. We looked at the idea of starting with why, how it helps with today's pressures, and how to begin rediscovering your own sense of purpose. Life gets loud, but when you know your why, you don't have to chase everything. You can confidently choose what matters. And that's when clarity finally starts to come in. I wanted to finish with this quote. Working hard for something we don't care about is called stress. Working hard for something we love is called passion. Thank you for listening.